What a fucking shit show, eh?
Jesus Christ. All right, so it's been really funny because, like, I thought I was done with Anthem. And if anyone watches Inside Gaming, no, okay, so there used to be the Rooster Teeth offshoot that was like a news channel for gaming. Then some shitty thing happened with Machinima, because Machinima used to own Inside Gaming, and that whole thing fell apart. So then I think the company that overarchingly owns Rooster Teeth and Funhouse bought the Inside Gaming name, grabbed the no from Rooster Teeth and was like, you don't need this anymore, turned it into Inside Gaming, hired Alana Pierce, and now she runs that. Okay. And then she just runs it with the Funhouse guys. Okay. It's the weirdest fucking thing. Okay. You should check out some of their videos. They're actually really good. Like they've kind of taken this like ability to like they present the news in a really like they give you all the facts, all the bits and pieces. They're like 10-minute videos when they do have something big. Yeah. But the editor they've got is fantastic. He's phenomenal, and the jokes and gags and sort of like quick cuts, very YouTube style.
It seems like I saw like one video of a news thing. I'm like, this is weird, but I'll watch it because Alana's in it and she's promoting it. It seems like SourceFed Nerds videos. Remember? Yes. It seems very much like that.
Yeah. So I think the editor used to work for Source.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think they did close down and they're looking for new people. Yeah. They'd be looking for jobs. And now this, they evolved into now this, I think. Yes. And I'm like, I don't want this company.
But Inside Gaming is very, very good. Their new stuff lately has been very, very good. It's very funny. Like I love. They give you the information, but then also the presenters that they use are very, very funny. I've always liked those guys, but I never really liked the Funhouse content.
That's fair, yeah.
But since the no turned into Inside Gaming, I've been watching more of their stuff, and it's been very... They've been doing a running gag ever since Anthem came out, because they did a news story. Obviously, they do news stories on big releases and all that kind of stuff, and they did their story on Anthem, and then because Anthem was such a fucking shit show out of the gate, they were doing updates every day on like, what's wrong with Anthem? What's wrong with Anthem? Like 2 weeks later, they were like, they did a news bit and they were like, wow. And they did like a full story. And then at the very end of the video, they were like, yeah, kind of just like Anthem. And they're like, oh, we almost went a whole day without mentioning Anthem. And then the next news story was an Anthem news story, but they started it talking about something else. And they were like, got you there, because again, it's Anthem. And they just kept going on with Anthem. And they talked like about Anthem every day for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, they've the same running gag across the industry right now, which I think is like everyone kind of is like, I think everyone came to terms with what Anthem is. Yeah. Like everyone had like agreed, like, there's a 55 Metacritic, like, the game's shit, there's a kernel of something in there, don't know what it is.
It's just corn. It's just corn in the shit.
It's corn. But I like corn, so like at some point this was probably something I would have liked prior to its digestion through the bowels of EA.
You're correct, yes. That is how we are.
And that was kind of how everyone's... And that's the end of it. We're done with it. But every week something else happens and you're just like, fucking... Like, just let it die.
It's... A lot of people compare it to Fallout 76, and I don't do that because Fallout 76's bugs started applying in real life. Like, that's next level shit.
Yeah.
Like, the bag situation, the weird...
The bugs manifested themselves.
Yeah, and like the credit card, like people have access to other people's credit cards. Like,
yeah, like there was a weird... Like, but Anthem always seems like it's in reverse, where the bugs were in the company and they filtered into the game. Yes. And the game is the end result of this fucking shit show of a company. Yeah. So, long story short, was it like yesterday or the day before? Was it
yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning. Yeah. Which would be what? Wednesday the 3rd of April? Yeah. At like 1 a.m. in the morning or something like that. Jason Schreier, purveyor of all knowledge in the video games industry.
Might as well be.
The great and powerful Oz of the games industry. Drops an article, and it's 1 a.m. in the morning Australian time. This is probably...
I think it's like 6 a.m. in New York. Probably, I think,
probably some reasonable time where news articles go up in America. Released an article, kind of, I guess a post-mortem? Or like a what the fuck happened with Anthem?
It's that. Like, it's probably his own post-mortem, because I know that they talked about they did their own post-mortems, which is what games devs do.
Yeah.
And then, he just I'm just going to tell you what they told me. 19 sources, I think they said 17, 19 sources?
19 different developers who either had worked on Anthem or were working in a studio closely associated to the people working with Anthem.
Yeah.
All of which who had left the company.
Not all of them.
Not all. Some of them were still in the company.
Yeah.
But I think it was a fairly... a combination of people who had left the company and were still working there, all of which remain anonymous.
Yeah. There was one dude who we talked to that... wasn't anonymous. Right. There was I remember reading this is said what's his chops to Jason specifically, and he was retired. He left BioWare. So
I mean those people are probably more inclined to be I don't care. Yeah. What are they going to do to me? I left.
Yeah.
This story is a pretty damning indictment, especially in the wake of the layoffs that EA made as well, which I didn't think we get a chance to talk about.
No, I don't think so.
350 jobs.
Yeah.
Gone. Seems to be the trend this year. Mass layoffs at companies that are making record profit. Yeah. That are doing quite well for themselves. Despite Anthem's problems, it sold very, very well. Yeah. And has made EA a lot of money. And Apex continues to have all that kind of stuff. Although, Apex troubles, EA's troubles are now starting to affect Apex.
How so? I haven't seen any of that.
There was a recent bug in a patch which has been causing progress to be lost for players.
That's what that patch was this morning. Because I opened it up and it's progress patch fix. I'm what the fuck? Because I haven't really been playing lately. Yeah. It's just I woke up to that. So it seems
progress
that's
was being lost, and that's a big deal in a free-to-play game where you are racking up stuff, where the amount of time you put into the game is actually reflected in what you obtain. Yeah, that was getting wiped. So, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. That's a big one for one of the biggest games on the planet right now. Yeah. And it just seems like whatever EA touches turns to shit. Yeah. So you read the article in its entirety. Yeah. I read most of it, skimmed through some bits because it's long. It's a lot. I am going
to put the links to it in the comment below.
Yes.
In the description below. Go read this. This is a fantastic bit of writing, regardless of genre. It is good. If video games had an industry standard of writing, a Pulitzer type thing, this would win it probably.
Yes, it's great journalism. Yeah, because it's a lot of sources, it's a lot of information, it's written really well. It's written like a story. It takes you on a journey.
And that's what history is. History is the story. Thus, you can tell the events in a story, and someone pointed out, everyone has an agenda, and people's Jason's agenda is unionization. Yes. This fits with his overarching story of just fucking don't treat your people like shit. Not hard. That's this fits into that story really well.
Yes. Yeah, it's a fantastic piece. Everyone should give it a read. It's very long, but like I said, it's well worth it. Yeah. It's I intend to finish reading the entirety thing, but I read enough to make sure that I could talk about it.
I wrote a bunch of stuff down just for reference points, but let's just talk about the article in general, why it's fucked up and our opinions on it, because we don't need to recap his article.
No, because it's difficult though, because it's so much. Yeah. It's because it starts sort of just as a general this is Anthem and this is why it's fucked up. But then they kind of retrace the steps of Anthem all the way back to 2012 when it was first concepted out. Yeah.
And even further back.
And I will refer to one note you've got here, which is the one that when I saw it, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" The name of the game.
I said that so many times reading this.
The name of the game until 2 weeks.
2 weeks, 2 months, I think. I don't know. 2 weeks, 2 months. Yeah, it's fucking cutting it close.
It was basically within shooting distance of E3 2017 when the game was officially revealed. Yeah. The name of the game was Beyond, and then they just word from on high. We can't really copyright Beyond. It's a bit difficult, so we're just not going to. The name of your game is Anthem. Just happens overnight. Yeah.
And that left the entire studio fucked. I'm what does that even mean, Anthem? And then that's why they had to go and concept out the Anthem of creation, whatever that was. And
if you're wondering why the storyline if you played Anthem, you're wondering why the storyline is impenetrable. It's because it was fucking people didn't know what they were doing. Yeah, and that's the worst part of this. I went and reread the Mass Effect Andromeda postmortem by Jason Schreier. It is like reading the exact same thing again, except
it only has a quarter of the problems that Anthem had.
Yeah.
Like, it had, like, the game was in pre-pro forever. It only got developed in the last 18 months.
Yeah.
The vision wasn't quite there.
That
The scoping of it.
Struck me, yeah.
Like, it's just, like, the scoping of it. But, like, it was Mass Effect, so they had a foundation. Like, they could actually do something about it. And
Yeah,
that's why
this
was from the ground up, from the top level, fucked from every position octagonally possible.
Yeah.
Like... It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that part really, really stood out to me as well, was like how long this thing was in pre-pro and that the whole thing was made in 18 months.
Yeah.
Honestly, given that I know that now, that this game was made in 18 months, yeah, fair enough. Like, how broken it is makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is? It's a beta. It's the beta version of the game. That's what you get in 18 months, is your beta.
Yeah.
Your beta testing.
Yeah.
This thing obviously was not beta tested. It was just kicked out the door. EA continues to do this every single time and continues to not reap any punishment for it.
Yeah.
Because they just keep making money.
Yeah. With this specifically, the deadline of this physical year, 2018, has to be out by then. I'm like, oh, that's dumb because I needed more time. But BioWare, 7 years production. That's way too long. And EA is a corporation, and they are one of the most cutthroat corporations.
But
like,
also,
to the point where, but then all that 7 years pre-pro was because they had no fucking idea what they wanted to do. Like, that is. I think at the end of the day, it is BioWare's fault because they didn't have a vision and
See, look, and I don't know about that because when you look at the again in the piece, there's the point where Casey Hudson leaves.
Yeah.
And he writes that letter saying look, I've done what I think, because this thing was originally called Project Dylan.
Yeah. Named after Bob Dylan.
Because they wanted something that the gaming industry would talk about forever, which they have.
That's what Jason, that's his last paragraph. He's just like, I don't think it is going to be talked about forever, but not in the way they want it.
Exactly. So he basically said that what he needed to do, the concepting and the idea for it, was finished.
Yeah.
But the sense I got from it was that every time they tried to do something, they had EA executives come in and be like, oh, make it a loot shooter. Because it was never meant to be a loot shooter.
No, but that's the thing. Okay. The way the article read for me is just they go into meetings, talk about how this mechanic should work in terms of whether it's the birds flapping or the dragons, whatever, flapping, and we need to argue it, and then it just peters out and nothing happens. They didn't come to a conclusion, so no one has a direction to go from there, and no one was making decisions.
Yeah.
Because everything was built by committee, and that's not how most games should work.
No.
By the time it became a loot shooter is when Patrick Sutherland came in and said, this is a walking game. You promised me fucking Iron Man. Why than that? And then that got rebuilt into Iron Man. And he's like, fuck, yes, go build this. And that's when they brought in the dude from Dragon Age to executively produce this game. Yeah. Meaning he pretty much directed the game into having decisions. It seems like a Square Enix situation in terms of hey, we just pulled someone off a project and just made them finish it, like a Yoshida situation, like a Tabata situation. Yeah. Just get this fucking out the door, but he had 18 months to do it, which is impossible. Yes. There just seems like no creative vision and what's the word I'm looking for? Cohesive direction, because the whole article is we don't know what we're doing, we don't know what we're doing, we don't know what they're doing. It'd be nice if someone told us.
But the thing is, I don't think you can lay the blame of that at all at BioWare's feet.
I blame it at BioWare's leads.
Their leads are probably partly to blame, but at no point EA owns BioWare.
You think you're saying that they should have come in early and hey, just get this?
Well, what have they been doing? I just don't want to give EA a pass on this one.
I'm not giving EA a pass. I'm just saying because BioWare's not all innocent in this either. That's what I'm.
No, they're not. They've been having troubles ever since Mass Effect 3, and that's what the story is also about that as well. BioWare is a company that is directionless right now and has no idea what it's doing or what it's. Not even just directionless, but it has no. It's lost its identity. Yeah. It doesn't know what it is anymore, and that's sad and another thing, but when you're a company and you've got a division that you can, and you've got a subdivision that you're looking at, and this is the problem with this is EA's story whole cloth, is when they've got a company that's in trouble, instead of getting in there and sending someone down there to be because I'm looking at that and going, it's been 4 years since they started that Dylan thing. what's happening with that?
Yeah.
And you send someone in and they're like rudderless and flapping their arms around, and you just send a dude in and be like, I don't know, fucking make it a loot shooter, push it out the door. Like, what is that? That's not leadership. Yeah. That's not helping your company. Because, like, EA just has a history, and, like, I'm sorry, guys, like, Dragon Age 4, I don't know if that's going to happen now. Like, I feel like that thing's dead.
I don't know if it's dead, but it is the last chance.
I don't think BioWare's going to make it.
We'll see. If BioWare Austin, like that's how the story sort of ends, is that Austin is taking over main production of Anthem.
Yeah.
Austin worked on SWTOR. SWTOR floundered in its beginning, fixed at the end.
Yeah.
Like that's another one of those, many examples of that. And it was super popular. And then, like, if they can fix their own game, and they know how to make online games, because that's the other point, is that, like, they were butting heads the whole time, because Edmonton only knew how to make
story stuff,
like, and single player stuff, and they were trying to create a story single player, but with multiplayer attached to it, which is why so weird that, like, you know, your Javelin bunch, everyone's just talking to you, and the other ones don't exist.
Yes.
Whereas, like, Austin was telling them the whole time, no, that's not how you should write this. Like, other players are going to be there. Make this more make sense. Edmonton disregarded them because they have the hierarchy thinking of Team A, Team B, Team C that the fans have put on them. They just adopted it because Edmonton was the original team, the Austin team, and then Montreal. Rest in peace. It's just like this. And the whole time, they're bleeding developers. Like, people left of their own accord, which at the beginning, and then, like, as it came down to crunch for 18 months straight, people left. And I'm like, I don't fucking blame you. Like, there's a stress leave. I'm like, that should not be a thing. Like, you should not take a stress break. Like, he was saying, like, people would take up to days or weeks, and then they may never come back.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucking understandable. Like,
you know, the stress leave stuff in that article just fucking was... God, that was rough. Yeah. Just people breaking down in tears in that workplace. And then, they just up and leave. And then the question was like, well, he's either gone for people were gone for either 1 to 3 months, or they just left and never came back. Yeah. Like, that's insane.
Yes. The other thing...
Like, that's Konami levels of crazy bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, like... That's the thing, is that you've got a company like EA that owns you, that should be able to, I don't know, like, did a HR person not wander through there in that 18 months? Yeah. Like, that's the thing that keeps bugging me about this story, is that, like, yes, BioWare is at fault. There is a lot of stuff here at BioWare needs to get done. Yeah. Needs to change. Yeah. But also, there's, like, certain, like, I guess, neglect on EA's part, where they've just kind of ignored, like, their duty of care. Yeah. Like...
They should be a safety barrier, not... a dude holding a gun to your head the whole time.
Exactly. They portrayed more as they come across as a company that just grabs a developer, holds them at gunpoint, and is like, make a game. Yeah. And it's like, that's not what the publisher-developer relationship should be. I think that's what it's turned into now. Yeah. But it shouldn't be, because the developer should be making a game that makes money for the publisher. Yeah. And therefore the publisher should be wanting that developer to succeed
and thrive,
instead of forcing them to fail. Yeah. Which is what EA seems to be doing. Like the list of EA's studio
casualties.
Yeah, the graveyard at EA headquarters is immense. Yeah. And again, it's just one of those things where it's like, I would have loved to have seen EA. I would have loved to have seen Andrew Wilson get up on stage and nervously trying to explain his way out of this one. Yeah. But we're not going to get that because he's smarter than that. Yeah. And it just bugs me. EA, I've been watching a lot of Jimquisition videos lately. Yep. Just because I've been pissed off. Yep. And this makes, it kind of fits together with this one. Yeah. And his whole thing on the EA stuff has been spot on. That company is just, it's a fucking leech. It's just a big old leech that leeches off of everyone else's good name. They have a back catalogue of games they could use. They've got the money and capital to resurrect studios or buy studios and not fuck them into the dirt. But that's what they do. Yeah. And I don't know why.
This was one of my biggest issues. There's so many biggest issues. Is the Frostbite engine. Frostbite, I know has been an issue for BioWare since Dragon Age Inquisition. I knew that. Yeah. That everyone was complaining how hard it was. And Inquisition, from what I've heard from their next two Frostbite games, it's a fucking miracle that game is great. One game of the year. And is loved in the Dragon Age community. Yep. Yeah, so the fact, and like the article says that people said like we were hoping Inquisition would fail because we built it the same way we made Andromeda and Anthem, and we were hoping that like with Inquisition it would fail, so that we'd have to change our structure.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was critically and commercially well received
killed us.
Now every game, and like they talked about the BioWare magic, and it's like how every game always not great until it all comes together towards the end. And like there's so many examples of that happening, like The Last of Us, God of War, like they're games that like they don't look good and they don't feel good until it all comes together. But thing with Last of Us, creative direction from the beginning, like Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley.
Yes.
They molded that game into what it was.
Like many games.
Cory Barlog had the vision, like, yes, I know it's not quite making sense right now, but it will make sense.
Yes.
They just relied on the BioWare magic.
Yeah.
And like, but they had Casey Hudson, they had the Dragon Age team, like, doing that to put it together. Dragon Age is not well...
Were the brothers?
For BioWare?
Yeah.
Oh, the Doctors.
Yeah, the Doctors.
Yeah, I don't remember, but they're them.
Yeah. Like because they up and left, and they were part of that team that could like make. They were part of the magic.
Yeah.
And when they all left,
if there's no wizards, you can't cast magic.
Exactly. There's no one.
That's
at the
a
helm.
good point.
There was no one at the helm. Like that was the thing, is that Casey Hudson left, and everyone was like, "Oh, BioWare's gonna be in trouble," but like everyone was like, "Well, no, like
there's so many other talented developers there."
It's this weird sort of like dichotomy that I think a lot of people are trying to fight against, but I think it's starting to get a little bit problematic in both senses here. Is that there's a part of me that's like, well, Cory Barlog didn't make God of War.
Yeah.
He directed it, but he like there's teams of hundreds of people that should be given the credit they deserve for what they did on that game. But in the other direction, there is like BioWare is the perfect example of a team of hundreds of developers that are really, really good at their job and that have obviously made great games in the past. But the Doctors and Casey Hudson left, and suddenly there's no one steering the ship, and that thing just falls apart.
Yeah.
You do need that single solidary like
leadership.
Yeah, that steers the ship around. And unfortunately, due to the nature of the world, the person that does that is often the one that gets the claim.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who will be public facing as well, because they're steering the ship in so many different directions.
Yeah.
They need to be kind of all over that thing. And like the second Casey Hudson left, because he left in 2012.
Yeah.
So they had the back end of Mass Effect 3. Once he's gone, you basically can chart the downfall of BioWare.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah. I think...
And now he's back, so like maybe there's a chance. But again, my feeling has always been, if EA lets them have a chance, because they're the ones holding the company at gunpoint. If they decide to pull the trigger and bury the company, that's it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
They're done.
Like, I think Casey Hudson's not... He was the last person to leave of significant importance. There's a couple of people who died on this project as well, which sucked.
Yes,
like, due to health concerns, not because it killed them.
No.
That we know of.
And that's another thing that adds to the stress of like there are people who probably had emotional repercussions from that, and were just friends and family members who have died, and it's like that sucks.
Yeah.
And then you add on top of like you got to push this game out in 18 months. Like, I can see why the company's bleeding developers.
Yeah. And it's Edmonton. Edmonton's a fucking cold city. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to attract attention when you're like, come to this dying company.
Yeah.
You're not going to get talent. You're going to get people who want jobs, who probably be good at their job, but you're not going to get people... Casey Hudson's, you're not going to get the Cory Barlogs, you're not going to get...
You're going to get people who just want a paycheck.
Yeah.
And they'll do it for 3 months and then they'll fucking bail.
Yeah, then they'll go to Vancouver or somewhere.
Yeah, they'll go somewhere else. They'll go literally anywhere else.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, is like, I don't know if EA needed to fire 350 people, because the way it sounded, like, based on this article, they were going to lose 350 people anyway.
Yeah.
Like, those people are just going to quit eventually, because you fucking run a company like dog shit.
Yeah. Like... What studios... That's what I wanted to talk about, sorry, with the Frostbite stuff, is that, like, they took all the programmers off who knew how Frostbite worked and put them on FIFA and Battlefront. Like, I get that from a resources perspective, but, like, FIFA needs to run. But so does fucking Anthem and Mass Effect. Like, you can have...
And it's also, like, again, like... This is another thing of, like, BioWare is, yes, partially responsible for what's happening, but also not wholly responsible.
Yes.
Because EA's incessant need to have every game run on the Frostbite engine is just ludicrous. Even Square Enix let Kingdom Hearts run on Unreal.
Yeah.
Like, it's ludicrous. The Frostbite engine when used correctly and run properly, looks amazing.
But that use and correctness is a shooter.
Literally, that's it. A multiplayer shooter. That's literally all it can do.
Yeah, that's all it was built for.
I mean, the FIFA games are now running on Frostbite as well.
But I don't know. And, like, I assume all their other sports games are as well at this point.
Yeah, it's the realism. It's the realism that they want. But the thing is, like, it's just...
BioWare doesn't go for realism, and so
No.
they have to create this entire different assets and system. But then they, like with Anthem, they built all the system. Like, there wasn't even a save load system. Like, they had to build that for Inquisition, and then they built it again for Anthem.
I mean, that's the thing, and as well, is that Anthem looks good.
Yeah.
Take a still image, just stand still in that open world. Looks great. The second you move, that thing falls apart.
Yeah.
And it's just, oh, God.
The reallocating resources is not what you need. And, like, every time BioWare asked for, like, because everyone talks to the Frostbite team directly, like, hey, we need help. Mm-hmm. And usually, they usually, like, go on and think, but all the, what's the word I'm looking for? All the priority, that's not it, goes to FIFA and Battlefield.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that it makes sense, but, like, you need the team. You know, there should have been more people on the Frostbite team to help the BioWare team. I know after the Patrick Sunderland thing happened, he got a bunch of people and shipped them over to Stockholm for DICE. Like, this is how you use the engine.
Yeah.
Come back, teach it to everyone. This is how you use the engine. And it's like, okay, like, that shouldn't be the thing. Frostbite, I get it's a great idea. Use one engine. Let everyone talk to each other about, like, hey, you're going to have your own internal GDC press conferences, but, like, for one, engine. And that's clever, but not for Frostbite.
Yeah, I love the idea I get. They developed their own engines. They don't have to license out the engine. They tried to make it as powerful and as beefy as it can be so it can run anything.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do that, and that's what BioWare was. They were the test bed because they knew it could run a shooter. They knew it could run a sports game. Okay, can we get you to do RPGs and action and other stuff in here as well?
No.
And the answer is no. The answer is no.
They succeeded once, but it seemed like that was just, like...
It was a fluke.
Yeah.
It is a fucking fluke.
2 out of 3, like 1 out of 3 times is not successful.
Yeah. And, like, my question is, like, and this is where I'm looking at Dragon Age 4. Is Dragon Age 4 running on Frostbite? Probably. They
say, at the end of the article, it says Casey Hudson's like, we're not going to be running... Dragon Age 4 isn't going to be built from scratch. It's going to be built on the... whatever Anthem is. We're going to be building it on the infrastructure of Anthem. I'm like...
that's a great starting
that doesn't distill, like...
Jesus!
If they can pick up the momentum of the last 18 months and continue to develop that, maybe, because it seemed like once that 18 months started, it seems like everything, there was hope, like things were coming together. I'm like, I have hope that continuing, like even the internal developers, like this game could have been great, provided we had more time. And like
Anthem is just not a good starting place though. Like I'm not, like the thing with Anthem is that like, the more and more you play it, the more and more it's just like, there's nothing to do here. It's boring. I
think that's from the game design, but from like the systems, like the save load, from the flying around. Well, I don't think that'll be in Dragon Age, but like the animation systems, all that, they're going to be shifting that over. But I know Anthem has those problems with those issues. Like, I know saving and loading is an issue. I don't know, but I assume not everything animates properly.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I'm like...
God, no. Fuck no.
So, like this... It's just going to be...
I just think that, like, Casey Hudson coming out, like, this is the other thing where Casey Hudson is back, but I don't know if that's a good thing. Because him coming out and telling me, don't worry, Dragon Age 4 is going to be fine, we're starting with Anthem, doesn't fill me with confidence.
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't care if they have done 18 months of work that will now translate into Dragon Age 4. Great. But also... As far as I'm concerned, that 18 months of work resulted in complete bullshit. So your foundation for your new game is complete bullshit. Yeah. So what do you... And now my question is, to you, sir, what microtransaction will you put in this game?
Honestly, make it Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed microtransactions are perfect.
I just wish they would stop with it.
Oh, yeah, obviously, but...
No, because like it's been proven. God of War did it. We keep harping on it, and it keeps being said, and it's been 12 months since that game came out.
Yeah.
Pardon me. It's still the example of, look, there are no microtransactions in that game. There is no DLC. That game is a fully fledged, fully working game out of the gate. I had 2 frame rate issues in that game. I'm running it on a regular PlayStation 4. That game is a full and complete experience out of the box. Nothing extra needed. It sold gangbusters. Why do you not want that? Like, you can still make the games that do the microtransactions. You can still make your FIFAs and your other thing. But what you need right now from BioWare specifically is you need a game that restores faith in your company.
Yeah.
That's what you need. They have not had that since Mass Effect 2?
Yeah.
Because 3 was divisive.
Yeah. 3's ending. I think for the most part, 3, people enjoy 3. It's just the ending.
I think 3 in general is just divisive. For the most part. Because it doesn't matter, like, when you get whether it's the ending or the beginning of the game, it doesn't matter. That game divided opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't decide that.
Thanks.
There you go. That game divided opinion.
Yeah.
So that was the last time, like Mass Effect 2, it feels like the last time that a game released out of the EA BioWare sphere that was just critically acclaimed, publicly acclaimed. Everyone loves Mass Effect 2. It's a great fucking game. I know, I've been playing it recently.
Inquisition. That's the one that this article does point to, and like that. Not as Dragon Age has never been as big as Mass Effect, but it's still got all the acclaim and the sales.
And see, but it got the acclaim and sales, but like I know a bunch of people.
It doesn't have the critical.
Yeah.
Not the critical. The legacy that Mass Effect 2 does.
No, because like I know a bunch of people who are Dragon Age fans who didn't like Inquisition.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't know any Mass Effect fan who doesn't like Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
That's
I see where you're going from with that specifically. Yes.
Yeah, that's the difference there. Is that like they haven't had a big success that is just knock it out of the park since Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
And what that company needs right now is one of those.
Yeah.
Just like Sony Santa Monica with God of War.
Yeah.
It had been so long since they'd done anything worth a damn.
It was God of War 3. Ascension wasn't worth a damn. I keep thinking, like, I should play Ascension. Like, I do not
No, you
want
shouldn't.
to.
You really shouldn't do that.
I'd rather go back and play God of War 1, 2, or 3 than play
you shouldn't
Ascension.
do that either, to be honest, because like
I like those games.
they're fine, but they just don't hold up, in my opinion.
I played them after 2010, which is still a long time ago, but still.
I played them in the lead up to 4. They don't hold up. But hey, what I'm saying is that EA continually tries to. They've been trying constantly to get this like games as a service, live game thing, so they can just milk money out of people. And hey, here's some business advice. Like honestly, I feel like if EA wants to do if EA wants to make a lot of money.
Copy Ubisoft.
Well, no, leave BioWare alone for a while. Just leave them alone. Keep making your Battlefields.
Keep hiring good creative leads. That's a good start.
Keep making your Star Wars bullshit. Let BioWare do what they did before they joined you guys.
Yeah.
Let them make a game that is amazing, that people want to play. Rebuild that trust. But like I said, if you want to make one of those live games, shoot 'em up, road mappy type things, fine.
You've got Apex now.
Yeah, use that. Or go get another developer to do that. You got a billion of them. You just don't fucking use them because you killed them all. Get one of them to do that. But don't bank on... I think the problem is they're trying to use the name of BioWare to sell you on a thing that you don't want to be sold on.
Yeah.
None of us want this. None of us ever wanted this for BioWare. And yes, BioWare's been getting away with... EA's been getting away with it because the BioWare name still means something to some people. Yep. After Anthem, I'm not so sure about that anymore.
It means very, very little. Like, it's kind of Square Enix. I keep comparing it to Square Enix, but like, Final Fantasy's been floundering for ages. They still put out good games, but we know that those games can be so much better.
Yes.
Those games... still critically, but like fans pick them apart, and that's fine. Like that's that's the situation. They need to get back, and the dude who put Anthem together in the last 18 months, he sounds like he did it. Like, he had the creative, and like, if they had an extra year, the game would have come out great. BioWare looter shooter, that's your opinion on whether you want that or not, but the game would have been good. It would have been a 7.
Yeah.
It would have been Division when it came out or something like that, as opposed to being what it is, Anthem, Fallout 76. Oh, anyway,
I think it's worse.
Whereas, like, if he's on Dragon Age 4 and has the proper support and all that, that could hopefully be their return to form. And if Casey Hudson's there putting in creative input as well. Again, I'm not relying everything on him because he hasn't shown me much lately. Ooh. This dude who pulled Anthem together has, so I trust him to an extent. If he can pull off Dragon Age 4...
I think the biggest thing as well, though, is that you know, in the hours leading up to Jason Schreier's article going up, there was a blog post from EA and BioWare.
It was posted like 2 minutes afterwards or something. Yeah. Like, Jason sent them a bunch of dot points, I think he said. Like, here's what my story is going to be about. Just wanted to give you a courtesy thing. Yeah. And they're like, fuck!
Yeah, and they write a blog post that's basically a point for point, like a counterpoint for everything.
But it's not. They didn't read the article. It's like, we don't believe in tearing down our other workmates, and we don't think articles like this have a place in the industry. I'm like, you did not read this article. It is not about tearing anyone down. It is exposing the work culture that was the development of Anthem. Yeah. That's the narrative. Like, no one's blamed for this. It's the culture that's blamed for this rather than...
No, EA has... No. Like the culture doesn't come from nowhere. Culture doesn't just manifest. Yeah. Culture comes from the executives and the higher-ups and the company that is around it. Yeah. This is not the culture of the industry necessarily. What Jason has been kind of fighting for a while now is, well, A, the culture of the industry, but B, like he's done this a couple of articles about these specific companies, BioWare and EA have a problem. Yeah. Full stop. Yeah. Specifically.
And they pause 6 months. One would hope you'd be able to sort a lot of problems out in 6 months. Just take like a breather, reset, have some company goals, like say like, hey... I want them to get off Frostbite, but if that's EA's fucking won't budge on that, ask for more help. Like, actually, like, put in things. Go to, I don't know, like business. It's not very businessy, but the classes, lectures, like GDC conferences to go and to have conferences with DICE to like talk about the Frostbite engine, and then you can like figure out how to build an RPG on this first-person shooter system. Yeah, like. I'm sure I just want them to go to Unreal. Just let them go to Unreal. They were doing pretty well on Unreal before.
Yeah. It's a nightmare situation.
And they need to reflect and do this. And they know they have to now, especially since this came out. They need to.
Well, it depends. It depends on the backlash they get. Like, and this has been the issue that I have seen is that there's constantly this thing of like. A lot of outrage, a lot of frustration, and a lot of eyes on the gaming industry in terms of certain things that have happened recently. Yeah. Activision layoffs, EA layoffs, this story. Yeah. Generally speaking, just the industry not feeling like it's in a good place right now. Yeah. Doesn't feel like any of the outrage has really moved the needle for any of these companies. No. And that's the problem is that like I would have like Anthem's been critically panned. It's a 55 on Metacritic or whatever. Yeah. But it's still sold a fuck ton.
It's still sold, but is that game doing like does it still have the player base to justify their DLC plans?
I think it sold 5 million units.
But are those 5 million people playing it? Like
doesn't matter.
It does for Anthem because it is an ongoing. They want you to microtransaction the fuck out of it. If they're not getting that, that's a commercial failure.
I understand that, but like the way it kind of works is that like they sold enough units that even if a small percentage of that base is still playing, that's enough to continue like a fairly decent continual game, like a live service game. The problem has always been that the way that capitalism is structured is that the only way that we're going to get these companies to make a shift is if we decide to not buy their stuff. Yeah. And that's a real problem because at the end of the day, like, it's a flashy looking game when it first came out. Yeah. I don't know how many people decided to get refunds. I don't know how many people waited a week and then got it and was like, actually, this thing's not too bad. Yeah. I don't know what the actual solution is here. Because social media outrage doesn't seem to do a lot. because these companies just kind of like EA just put a blog post out and like fuck it, we're done with it. Like they're not going to respond in a way that you want them to.
Yeah. It needs a Yoshida type of person who can do the balance between the creative and the corporate and just navigate through all that. And then, but Yoshida's very unique, so I don't think that's going to happen too often.
No, and Square Enix is also very unique as well.
They have their own set of problems.
Yeah, and what they were dealing with was like a very specific type of MMO that we're trying to fix, and like the circumstances. Like again, I'm gonna plug him again. Go watch that no-clip documentary. It's fucking great. But the circumstances around Final Fantasy XIV are just like the perfect storm of wow, like it needed a certain thing.
Yeah.
But the circumstances around EA and BioWare are just like, I don't know which one goes for, like, there's part of me that's just like, hey, BioWare, get some money.
Bungie.
Get some money together, pull yourself out, like, buy yourself back, you need this. Because EA, like, the longer they're with EA, the closer they get to just being shut down. Like every other, like Maxis and every other developer before them. Like, every time EA buys a developer, they're like, you literally start the timer.
Yeah.
Just start the timer because at some point they're dead.
Yeah.
BioWare's lasted longer than they thought they would.
Yeah, I would like BioWare to pull a Bungie, but I don't think they can.
I don't think they have the capital.
Yeah. Or anything, like whatever, whether it's money or legal shit, and like EA stubbornness, like, no, what's ours is ours. You don't. But EA shuts down, get BioWare too. Like the next successor.
I mean, but the thing is, like you can. There's always a way out of this situation. It's just that, like I said, I think the issue on this front for BioWare is probably going to be money.
Yeah.
Do they have enough to purchase themselves back?
Yeah.
Because there's, no company's dumb enough to, well, unless they did, be fully purchased by someone without an out clause.
Yeah.
But hey, I think that's pretty much all I can say on this because I'm getting like tired, like angry tired.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's like draining just talking about it.
Because like,
oh man,
it seems like there is an easy fix. Like there's,
it seems so glaringly obvious, but because it's the business world, they can't see it because they're looking purely at the bottom line.
Yeah.
And they give zero fucks about the humans around it.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yeah, it needs to. Like, other games have done that, like where their games aren't selling as well, but they still sell well, and then they come back fucking great, and then they sell even more copies. God of War like Ascension did not sell well.
But here's the other thing is that, and then this again, because I've been watching a lot of Jimquisition lately, like, I don't want this to be the model of the future, because Destiny released poorly and then got better. Final Fantasy 14 released poorly and then gets better, and like Fallout 76 releases poorly and then maybe it gets better. And like, no, just fucking finish your game and get it done working out the gate, you motherfuckers.
Yeah,
that's what needs. Like that's the other problem here is that EA has decided that they don't care if they release a broken game because they can just release it, get the money, and then fix it later.
Yeah,
and we need to stop. Like, we as gamers, we the royal we. Need to stop rewarding that. Yeah. Of like, oh, your game's not finished? Well, then fuck you. Give me my money back, and then when it's finished, maybe I'll think about it.
Yeah. That's why I probably won't buy Anthem until it's fixed.
That's why I took it back.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got rid of it.
That's why I support Apex. Like, I haven't put any money into it yet, but I would. I continue to play that, have the numbers up there, but like, Apex came out done. It didn't start out with season 1, but it like gives you the core of the experience. Like, nothing was busted. It worked for the most part. Like, everything was server-side issue, not internal.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I took it back, and I'm Sekiro seems fine. Yeah. From all I hear, it works.
That's the thing. Like, if they can go back to a single-player game, hopefully that fixes everything, because single-player games have a lot less issues. Yeah. Andromeda is the exception, but they're nowhere near as fucked as what Anthem was. But then also, what's the other point I want to say? Single player. Assassin's Creed. Everyone should use Odyssey as a model for like.
Oh, I don't know about
open world RPGs.
Yeah.
Why? I'm not sure about that.
It's just a lot.
It's a lot. But like, that's what you want out of a 100-hour RPG.
Yeah, but I want to.
Assassin's Creed's a little bit weird because it was never intended to be a 100-hour RPG, but Dragon Age is. So if they can just emulate that. And then even have the stupid microtransactions and then premium content.
I think what I'm always looking for in RPGs now is something new and different.
Yeah.
I don't want the same again. I don't want there to be like, oh, look, it's just one of those again. It's one of those again. Like I want something different. Whether that's a mechanic or the way it works, I want something different.
Yeah.
Anyway, should probably give that a rest. Oh, I think we ran out of SD card. Ha!
Oh, I was meant to delete everything. Oh well.
Ha! Okay, so this will probably be like a fire duck at some point.
At this point, yeah.
Cool. Well, if you did enjoy this, please leave a like below. Remember to subscribe and share. Remember to check out the website. Is it just www.theamalgamshow.com?
Yep.
Yeah. Check
We
out
have the blog feed up now, and that looks nice because before it was just the whole blog.
Yeah.
Now we shorten it up to look like an IGN or something like that, where it has like little preview of the text.
Sweet.
And then the one thing I would like is like by author, but I don't think we can do that yet.
That's all right. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, baby steps. We've got the website up. I believe Kingdom Hearts review is up. Is the Anthem review up yet?
No, I should post that.
Yeah.
I knew there was something. Like, I know there's a third piece of content.
Check the Anthem review. I'm going to proofread your other thing tonight.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to write another one for the weekend as well. So there should be some stuff up on the website. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/theamalgamshow. We'll figure something out there. I guess the funds from that now will go towards website maintenance and things like that.
Probably.
The extra stuff that we can put on there. And also check us out on all social media at The Amalgam Show. And finally, you can download this podcast, I assume, on iTunes.
And Spotify.
Yay! Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Don't look at the camera.
Let's have it.